Welcome back to What She Said Sports. This Shanola girl checking in. Baby. I just about right before I went live, probably about 10 minutes, I dropped the video because everybody cannot make the live stream. So I dropped the video. I did a commentary on the breaking news that Baker Mayfield, with 11.5 million likes since the last 2 to 3 hours, have just blown it all up. And when I tell you, I couldn't be more thrilled. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield just, I'm telling y'all, he ain't have to do it. But he let it be known. Y'all not going to play in my goddamn face. He said it. Y'all not going to play in my face. I thought I was getting on here to talk about Colorado. I was like, well, maybe I should ask them, do they want to talk about why Fernando Mendoza will likely be a bust in the NFL? And then shout out to Barry Johnson, who was on the last live and knew I didn't see the breaking news. He sent it to me. So when I finished that last podcast, I put together a video after I was thrilled that Baker Mayfield torched the hell out of Kevin Stefanski. Baker Mayfield basically just blew it all up about those 2 Coaching of the Year awards and all of that with the playoffs, going to the playoffs with Baker. Yeah, come to find out, Baker Mayfield didn't leave. He got pushed out. And Stefanski was a part of it. Stefanski had people believing he didn't want to get Deshaun. He helped to push out Baker Mayfield to get Deshaun. He didn't go to the playoffs. First of all, he wasn't even a coach when they won. It was somebody else because he had COVID. He actually helped to push out Baker Mayfield. So he knew they was getting Deshaun because he helped to push out Baker Mayfield. See how they scapegoat Deshaun? And somebody had the audacity to put an article together. I'm gonna let you read what it say. It wasn't an article. Somebody from Atlanta. See, we talked about them Atlanta people earlier, and I said I'm not going toe-to-toe with these folks, right? We stood up, we talked about all the podcaster people, the media, whatever. This guy is from the newspaper in Atlanta. His handle has the letters AJC behind it. So this is a reaction video. I just gave my commentary on the breaking news, but we're going to talk about this. We're going to react to it because everybody else is. And they thought they would get away with these Atlanta people in the media thinking they're going to get away with trashing Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield said, you're not going to play in my face. So right here, I'm getting ready to put on the screen the post that he put out earlier today. It was at 7.5 million. And I said, wait a minute, maybe I looked at that wrong. Because when I saw it, it was only 2 hours old. It was at 7.5 million when I saw it. It's at 11.5 right now. And Chad Ochocinco's reaction is what everybody is thinking. Somebody on there said, somebody on the internet said, drama alert, something about the Browns and the Falcons. I said, clarity. This is clarity. See, Baker Mayfield provided clarity. And that's what was needed with this situation, because everybody else was being cowardly and choosing to overlook what Stefanski did to Shedeur. So Baker Mayfield came out and told what Stefanski did to him. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I'm telling you, all of this talking that's starting to happen, somebody getting arrested. Now you see how we're going to get to the arrest. You see how Baker talking? You see how other people been talking? People going to be talking with that robbery. And I already told y'all, they was letting it be known. They was dropping breadcrumbs. Had something to do with Oregon University, Oregon football, Penn State, the NFL. And the robbery happened days after Brian Daboll was fired. And y'all know what he did to Shedeur. And he was supposed to be getting that job at Penn State. In fact, they drafted Abdul Carter from Penn State because Daboll's daughter went there. And they were friends. You see how this is starting to spread? Just like in the draft. A lot of people had things to do with what happened with Shedeur Sanders in the draft. And now we're starting to see the chickens come home to roost. The lies are coming out. Clarity has been provided after breadcrumbs were delivered. They still can't find number 4. Man, but they know somebody hired them. Yep. It looks like to me they trying to tell. So on the screen, it says, just in case you can't see it, it says, according to D. Ledbetter, it said Falcons Kevin Stefanski had a dumpster fire at quarterback in Cleveland. Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson failed, which started a chain reaction to 11 other starters. So this dude is basically trying to say that Kevin Stefanski had 11 quarterbacks that were trash because of Baker Mayfield and Deshaun Watson. It said QB Shedeur Sanders closed out the last season with 7 starts. Nary a mention. So Baker said they didn't mention the sabotage or nothing. And they weren't crazy enough to call Shedeur, what did he call him? A bomb or something. So it said failed is quite a reach. This is from Baker Mayfield. Baker's response is failed is quite a reach, pal. Still waiting on a text or call from him after I got shipped off like a piece of garbage. Can't wait to see you twice a year, coach. So understand, Tampa Bay is in the same division with the Falcons. And Baker Mayfield say, I can't wait to see you twice a year. Whoo! All I know is Baker Mayfield letting it be known. See, they scapegoated Baker. They said he was trouble. He was this. He was that. They scapegoated everybody. Earlier today on the podcast, people from Atlanta was calling Case Keenum and PJ Walker bums. So all 11 quarterbacks that Stefanski had been getting trashed and lied on, like they lied on Shedeur in the draft. You see how they do people when they want to prop up somebody they want to reward for being dysfunctional, racist, scapegoating people, just lying. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. So let's talk about some of the reactions that's out here. Because Chad Ochocinco used that emoji, the one like when you scary, he used that one. So I'm gonna share that one because his Chad Ochocinco's reaction is exactly what everybody is thinking. And somebody said, I don't know what to start. An Atlanta Falcons page said, an account said, like a podcast or something like that. What did he say? He said, I don't know where to start with this. I said, you could start. I gave him a couple places to start. So I'm going to share with y'all what I've been out here running around saying about this situation. All I know is it's at 12.8 million views. Bruh, this just posted at 6:42. 12.8 million views. That's crazy. No, 12.8 million views, 100,000 likes, 3.5 thousand saves, and 4.1 comments. Let's hop into these comments. We finna hop into these comments. So I hope y'all saw what Baker said. Baker, let me translate what Baker said. Oh, y'all not gonna play with me. Oh, you want to play with me? Oh, you think you're gonna play in my face? Well, I'm still waiting on him to call and text me after I got shipped out. So you lying. Y'all shipped me out. I didn't ask to leave. And he knew I was being pushed out because he helped. So he definitely wanted Deshaun. So he lying. And he a fraud. And I'll see you twice a year, sir. Baby, this is the best unexpected news all day. What did I tell y'all about the unexpected? What did we say earlier? We were talking about this situation on the live stream, and I said, see, they think they know what they going to do, but we going to see what God going to do. Look at God. Baker Mayfield didn't have to say a word. They had 12 quarterbacks over there. Deshaun ain't say nothing. Baker Mayfield said something. You see? Case Keenum didn't say nothing. Isn't he on the arena? What did he say? Why he don't say nothing? PJ Walker didn't say nothing. He in Canada now, I think. So he might not even know. So it's a lot of people that could have said something, but Baker Mayfield cleared the air. Baker Mayfield cleared the scapegoating, showed us that they lying on these quarterbacks. And look at everything they're doing to prop up Kevin Stefanski. This is how you know. This is how you know those two-time Coach of the Year awards were bought and paid for. Just like Josh Allen's MVP that they stole from Lamar Jackson. See, they don't mind hurting the black quarterbacks. They don't. And look at how they not only protected Kevin Stefanski, lying to give him credibility, to make everybody in Atlanta who said to hell with this. This is an absolute no. This wasn't a mistake. This was intentional greasing of the esophagus took place with Matt Ryan and saying that what's his name? Penix gonna be the starter. See how quickly they said Penix was gonna be the starter, but they can't do it in the Browns organization. You know why they said Penix gonna be the starter? Because he out with injury. But guess what? He healing up real fast. Look at God. So let's go through some of these comments so we can see what people are saying. This is a reaction live stream. I'm headed over to y'all comments in a second. Let's just go through a few of these, and I want to see what y'all saying. I haven't even eaten dinner yet. I started, and once I read that on my phone, I stopped everything. I know everybody cannot make the live stream, so I made a video, and you want to go watch it because I'm saying different stuff over there. Baby, that's all I'm gonna say. Baby, like this is shout out to Baker Mayfield. I was like, you got you a new sub, a new follower on X. I'm like, man, and everybody gonna want to see Tampa play the Falcons, but I'm gonna have to watch the highlights because I'm boycotting the Falcons. I have absolutely no problem with saying that, and they deserve to be boycotted. Look at all this lying going on, all this lying and scapegoating folks. But Stefanski, of all people, he's not even good. He's not even a good coach. So why is all of that necessary, right? Why we doing all of this? What's really the goal here? What's really the goal here? Because he need to be fired. They said Stefanski should be fired on Tuesday. What's today? Tuesday. Well, this might just be the dagger to make sure it happened on Wednesday. Let's see what happens. Because it's already fired Stefanski again, this time in Atlanta. All right. So on the screen, I made myself smile so y'all can see. Okay, let me go to the comments. Let's get going. All right. It said all goes back to one play. It says Stefanski hired by the Falcons and has to play Baker twice a year. Stefanski fired by the Browns. The team sucks. So somebody just putting out the dominoes, and the dominoes are falling. Anthony Schwartz, somebody else got in here. Baker gets hurt. And then Baker plays hurt. Baker isn't the same. The Browns trade for Watson. Wait a minute now. Hold on now. Anthony Schwartz stops his route early. We was just talking about these receivers giving up on their routes. This is what Jerry Jeudy did. And then, and listen. Ooh, this is good. Let me make sure y'all can see this. Ooh, this is good. This is good. This is good. We just talked about the guy who gave up on his route. We talked about Jerry Jeudy also giving up on his route. And it happened to Jameis Winston, who was also in Cleveland and devalued by Stefanski. That's facts. That's facts. See how all the dominoes and the dots are coming together? So we got another wide receiver or some player, maybe a tight end, but somebody stops their route early. Baker gets hurt tracking the defender on play. Baker plays hurt. Baker's not the same. Browns trade Watson and get rid of Baker. Somebody need to do one of these for Deshaun Watson. Because I pointed out, when you look at his history and with the Texans, when you look out his history, Deshaun Watson history with the Texans, he was never injured like that. Sounds like the Browns are setting up injuries. Yeah. And they did all of that seemingly, allegedly, possibly, potentially, in my opinion, to push out Baker Mayfield. That's why he said he was pushed out like garbage. Garbage. Yes, garbage. And another person giving up on their routes, resulting in a loss or some type of negative impact. The ones we were talking about earlier today, Caleb lost the game because his receiver stopped running on his route, and they still looking for him because he was scared to go into the locker room, and he's scared to talk to Caleb. Jerry Jeudy, y'all know what he did. Jerry Jeudy did the same thing, and then he kept sitting underneath Shedeur Sanders like he trying to intimidate him, stabbing him in the back, but I'm going to sit up underneath you. That's two-faced. Then the guy that I watched do it on film to Jameis Winston, and Jameis just put his shoulders down. Anything to stop these quarterbacks that they want to stop. What I've seen with the other three is it resulted in losses for the black quarterbacks. But Baker Mayfield, it resulted in an injury that they used to push him out like garbage. Ain't this something? All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going. This is good. This is real good. So let's see if the truth start coming out. Now, I told y'all Shedeur being in Cleveland with Deshaun was no accident, and it wasn't. But what's coming from, they sabotage the truth. And we going to find out. It's going to come out why Deshaun was the only quarterback who could have a $230 million fully guaranteed contract with fully guaranteed American dollars. It's going to come out because you see this right here? We didn't know this. They made people think Baker asked him to leave. They made say Baker was difficult. He didn't get along with Stefanski. That's a lie. They pushed him out like garbage, according to Baker. And he know what the hell he's talking about. So next, people are putting up the LeBron James emoji like, uh-oh. It said, we get to see Stefanski play Baker twice a year and face the Browns defense at home. And somebody put up the Jay-Z like, like, ooh, wow. Noah Olsen, who's normally have something to say, is, oh boy. It said Baker Mayfield. It said Baker Mayfield, you didn't fail him. It said Stefanski failed you by not defending you and retaining you. Go show them who runs the NFC South. Woo-hoo. Well, maybe the plan for Tyler Shaw to win the NFC South might not happen now. Let's see what happened. It said, remember, this is Armel. It said, remember when Baker Mayfield led the Browns to their first playoff win since 1994? Then they traded him away for a fourth-round pick like he trashed. Then traded for Deshaun Watson, who had 20-plus SA allegations, for 3 first-round draft picks. They gave away 3 first-round draft picks and signed him to a $230 million fully guaranteed contract. So Baker took them to the playoffs and they pushed him out like he was garbage for a 4th-round pick, which meant he was trash. You see how they do people? You see how they do people? And they did worse to this to the Shedeur. You see how they do people? See, they abuse Shedeur. They devalue Baker. That's what being pushed out for a 4th-round pick means. He's supposed to be an elite quarterback. He took them to the playoffs for a 4th-round pick. See, they want to do this to Shedeur so bad, but they know it's 20 million people waiting to pounce. Understand that. Understand that. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know how Stefanski going to stay in Atlanta. He's going to get run smooth out of Atlanta. Because as soon as the Falcons fans who was trying to grease people's esophagus early today find out about this, I can't wait to hear how they try to spin this. There's no spinning. This is clarity. And one day, just like we got this clarity from Baker, we're going to get clarity from Deshaun Watson on how it is. He got a $230 million fully guaranteed contract, but he always injured, and the insurance company is paying his salary. So, see, the Browns not even paying Deshaun Watson last year. And see, the Browns knew they needed a quarterback. And when they went to the 25 draft, they pretended they was going to get Shedeur. See, Shedeur got information about that. And that's probably what they was looking for at his house. No coincidence, Penn State. No coincidence, Oregon. Yeah, no coincidence. that the one team that was doing what? I would love to see text messages from Kevin Stefanski to Daboll during the draft process to see what they were saying about Shedeur. Because they all know each other. They all represented by the same people. And that person is in Jimmy Haslam's circle of trust. Baby, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. There is no way Stefanski making it through Atlanta. And I told y'all, when they say they hired Callahan, I said, that's his replacement. Because if he get arrested or tossed out because of misconduct or something about this process just keeps getting revealed over and over and over, Callahan gonna be the next head coach. Or Ulbrich, the one whose son called Shedeur. See, they thought it was cute to come to Atlanta and play in black people's face. What did I say earlier? One thing about it, black people know them tables gonna turn. Well, baby, the table done turned. The table is turning, and it's not going to stop turning, because what the Falcons did was blatantly disrespectful. And what the media is trying to do is lie on people. Baker Mayfield say, y'all go play with somebody else. Where Case Keenum at? He don't have nothing to say? Yeah, it's a lot of people out there with a story, but they scared to tell it. That's really what it is. And it took courage from Baker Mayfield. Maybe one day we'll finally hear all the things about what happened to Shedeur behind the scenes that they say we don't know about. So let's just keep going. Let me see what y'all saying, and we're going to keep going. Let me see what y'all saying about all of this. It said, Baker played hurt and sacrificed for the team, even when he probably should not have. Did he have a choice? Because Shedeur said he was healthy, and they said he couldn't play. Did he have a choice? They said Dylan got a concussion, and that's the only way Shedeur can play. Yeah. And these injuries looking a little sketchy now, huh? Yeah, these injuries look a little sketchy. Or maybe they told him he had to play. Maybe they're like, you good. So he could get injured. So why would they trade him for a 4th round pick? Why would they do something like that to a person that took them to the playoffs? That's the same question for the Carolina Panthers. What did Cam Newton do for that team? Did he take them to the Super Bowl and get cheated against Peyton Manning? That's that Tennessee connection. That run right through the Browns to the Haslams and to Jimmy Sexton. You see, all these people are connected. All of these people that lied for Stefanski, that lied on people for Stefanski, and they lying on Deshaun. They are lying on Deshaun. He was not the only person in that little massage. They just don't want to reveal the married white players. See how they protected Stefanski? That's how they was protecting the other people. Those women did not come forward. They got found. The Texans are not the police. You see what I'm saying? So how they found them? Maybe the same way they found the 3 of the 4 that supposedly robbed Shedeur, because the people gave them the number, gave them up so they could get caught. Seemed like the Texans were retaliating against Deshaun because he asked for a trade, and black quarterbacks can't ask for a trade. Because see what happened when Terrell Pryor asked for a trade, he got devalued and was told the only way you're going to play again in the NFL is if you switch off from quarterback to wide receiver. That's when he was with the Raiders. Guess who he ended up playing for after? He had no choice but to switch if he wanted to keep his career. I know that's illegal. The Browns, where they sent Odell Beckham Jr. Odell Beckham Jr. already spoke out that they sent him to the Browns for his career to die. So did they give Deshaun $230 million fully guaranteed because they retaliated against him because all he did was ask for a trade after they made an agreement with him that they would talk to him before trading away his wide receiver 1. And they lied. And they traded DeAndre Hopkins somewhere else, I think to the Cardinals. And then suddenly, a month later, Here come 25 allegations that he had to settle. And then he was fined by the NFL, but he wasn't kicked out because he could have been kicked out. But since 2 Texas grand juries said, he innocent, they gave him back every single dime in that $230 million contract. And they're not even paying the $46 million from last year. But they used Deshaun to block Shedeur. You see how it's all coming together? This clarity should go very far. And other people need to start talking, or people need to start looking. Pick one. But Atlanta will not be silent. And shame to the guy from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution who hashtagged the Falcons so he could get the message out to the Falcons that Baker was a problem. Deshaun is a problem. Deshaun wasn't a problem. It is documented. Stefanski failed to build chemistry with Deshaun and Shedeur and everybody else that's over there melanated. And they want to reward him with $15 million a year after it took Mike Tomlin 18 years to make $18 million. And they just go reward him with $1.25 million a month. I'll be damned. Let's see what happens. See, God don't like ugly. We just said earlier, they out here making these moves thinking, who gonna check me, boo? And I said, God, we gonna wait and see what God does. Here come Baker Mayfield with clarity. Those awards were bought and paid for. They show you what they're capable of. When they stole Lamar Jackson's 3rd MVP and gave it to Josh Allen, and they showed you what they're capable of when Josh Allen threw 4 turnovers and he gets a pass and they fire his coach, but they over here trying to persecute and crucify CJ Stroud, who they set up, by the way. And you can see it in the game before this one. And he was injured and playing in that game. And they had the audacity to say he's not worthy of being the quarterback next year. But his black head coach defended him. And let's see what happened to his black head coach. Brian Flores was just interviewed by what team? Can you guess what team interviewed Brian Flores? The one that fired Mike Tomlin. See how they be playing in black people's faces? See how they play? Like we stupid? Because people were complaining, why is he not getting any interviews? He was only interviewed with the Baltimore Ravens, the Steelers. Lamar is black over there. And y'all know what they just did to Mike Tomlin and pushed him out. And I don't want to hear nothing about that man having an affair, because if you don't think the rest of them over there having affairs and having children on their wives, you crazy. It's a lady over there on TikTok talking about it. She says she used to work for the NFL. She got blonde hair and she's not black. So I don't want to hear nothing about that. They just trying to justify pushing out Mike Tomlin. So they ran and went and hired their first offensive coordinator since they got rid of all the black offensive coordinators. Eric Bieniemy, their first black offensive coordinator since they got rid of all the others. It's a whole lot of dirt and corruption happening. And instead of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution reporter talking about the corruption, he wanted to throw Baker Mayfield under the bus. But he was smart enough not to trash Shedeur Sanders. Baker said, to hell with you. You ain't going to be talking about me. You have to respect it. You have to respect it. So let's see what else they saying in here. It said, as a Cleveland fan of 29 years, seeing you get booted after doing so much for the franchise is still one of the worst decisions in memory. Now, you see? And they booted him out. You see how they treated him? They wanted Deshaun Watson that bad just so they could keep him on the bench or keep him in a wheelchair or keep him injury or keep an insurance company paying his salary, because that's a hefty salary. And they tried to scapegoat the GM, Andrew Berry. When we first came into the Cleveland Browns orbit, all we heard was Andrew Berry was trash because he signed Deshaun Watson. He ain't signed Deshaun Watson voluntarily. If you ask me, They hired Andrew Berry to take the fall for Deshaun Watson. Just like they had a black GM over there, Sashi Brown, who wanted to draft Lamar, and they fired him so he could not. These people have a problem with black quarterbacks. That's obvious. That's obvious. And it's like they wanted to get Deshaun to punish him because somehow he got $230 million. I mean, if he was that bad, why you just didn't kick him out? Because you knew he wasn't the only one. And you knew the others were white. Justin Tucker told you that. And look at how they treat the Justin Tucker situation. What team is he even on? Just like I didn't know how many turnovers Josh Allen had. Because they don't talk about it. They just wanted to talk about Caleb's 3 and CJ Stroud's 4. Turned out CJ Stroud, the one they crucifying, had the same number of turnovers as Josh Allen. Now Josh Allen isn't the problem. His coach is the problem. He don't have no talent over there. Don't he have a running back? You see? But CJ Stroud actually does not have the talent. Why? Because they sent Stephon Diggs to the Patriots. Why they do that? Because Drake May's white. That's why. That's exactly why. Since you wanted to know. That's why. So they depleted. They depleted CJ Stroud. They sent Diggs to New England. Where he over there helping out who? Drake May. They sent Joe Milton, who was the QB2 from behind him, to Dallas. Guess who they blocked? Shedeur. Shedeur and Joe Milton have just about the same contract. People talking about how quiet Jerry Jones is. Somebody said, take that entitled so-and-so curly head boy off my board. And all of them did it. That's going to come out too. Eric Dickerson told us. But see, he said they try to teach him a lesson. They ain't try to teach Shedeur a damn thing. They discriminated against Shedeur because he's black. That's why they want Fernando Mendoza to come out first. Because he's a check down king. And now people are starting to see it. I've been saying it. He might be a good kid, but he a check down king. You know what else they learned about Indiana? Most of their players are between the age of 22 and 25. Not 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. They playing with grown men who have older ages than rookies in the NFL. That's why they could go 16-0. There's a lot happening, ain't it? What we're seeing is how rigged and how corrupt and how racist. College football, the Browns, the Falcons, the Giants. You might have to take it case by case. The Tennessee Titans. These teams are not black quarterback friendly. Let me see what y'all saying about this. Since the comments going to be the same over and over and over, people just telling the truth. That's what I wanted. That's what I wanted. It said, as a native ATLian, please do me and my city the biggest favor and divorce us from this decision. ATL does not approve. Right. And ATL disapproved before they hired that bum. And then they sped it up and did it on MLK weekend when this is the birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King. Don't get lost. Did they overall in this country celebrate MLK? No. See, they think it's fun to mock black people as if what y'all gonna do and think we stupid enough that we can't see that you hired Matt Ryan because the fans liked him and that you was slick and said Michael Penix Jr. was the starter because you thought he wasn't coming back. But God, he's healing faster than they anticipate. And now, but God, Baker Mayfield provides clarity. Just blow it wide open. Who next? Something about that robbery. Because it's people in this city who know who hired those guys. Because they told somebody. Y'all going to do what? Bro, don't say nothing. They trying to probably bury them under cases so you'll never ever see or hear them again. And just like Deshaun got told on by people in the inside that was guilty, I'm willing to bet you good money. The people that hired them, not the point person that they met, but the people that ponied up the cash. Remember, the driver was caught with thousands in cash. And they know it was a robbery for hire. We all do. 80% of the U.S. population lives within 2 hours from the city of Atlanta, which is why Hartsfield-Jackson is the #1 airport. So why the hell do I feel the need to drive 22 hours round trip for 12 minutes and clean out the contents of his nightstand? What were they looking for? You see? Brought your ass down here and you about to be cool busted. Because the people in this city gonna tell it. Because it's people that know. It's people that know if nobody actually ever existed. Or if he being framed and where he at. His picture's so old, and I'm not surprised because he served 12 years. And they had him in the parking lot, apparently. And we assumed it was that parking lot where they said it was, the Red Roof Inn. But he was not on the inside cameras. If he was, why they didn't use that footage? So chickens is coming home to roost, just like I said. Shout out to Baker Mayfield for adding clarity to the situation. And I'm getting some new Falcons fans. I just want y'all to been over here. I have a Falcons jacket that I'm going to have somebody customize and add the word busters to it. Because they some busters. They thought they was going to play in black people's face. They thought they was going to convince black people that hiring a failed head coach who had a worse record than the black head coach, who fired the GM so this failed coach could come over here and hire a GM that hate black people as much as he do. You don't like black quarterbacks if you fail to build chemistry with black quarterbacks and all you do is set them up to fail. Because you didn't trade none of them like you traded Baker Mayfield. They were all stuck, including Shedeur. But like I said earlier today, and a couple of days ago, I think Shedeur going to get traded and the Browns don't even know. And now you can kind of start to see how that's going to come about. That's right. That robbery was an inside job in Berea. And they probably told them where to go find them at. Which is how they caught them so fast. It said, boy, I need all 13 QBs to unite and start ratting out Kevin. That's what I'm talking about, coach. That's what I'm talking about. Thank you for the super chat. Who was that? Denver. Oh, shout out to you. Nice name. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. I agree, coach. I agree. It said, boy, I need all 13 QBs to unite and start ratting out Kevin. I know that's right. It said I didn't renew my season tickets. LOL. That's what I'm talking about. I heard people been canceling tickets left and right. And one of the reasons I think they got these Atlanta Journal-Constitution people on it, the podcasters on it, because they failing. And people letting it be known. People are saying it out loud. Boycott these games. Don't go to these games. And I'm going to take it one step further. Don't you watch one live game. If you just got to know what happened, you watch the highlights. Because when you watch a live game on any platform, I don't care what app it is, you're going to have some discipline and resist. They get that $452 million check. You're paying for that. They don't give a damn if you don't show up in the stadium. You can leave every last one of them empty. And they probably had that conversation, but they think you don't have shit going on for yourself, that you don't love yourself enough, or black people enough, or respect black people enough that you're going to still watch it live and they going to get paid. Don't watch that damn game. You go watch the highlights. That's exactly what we did for Cleveland when they was not playing Shedeur. And them tickets went down to $6. In some cases, they were $4. And that stadium was sparse. Y'all better let Mercedes-Benz sit empty. Because this is disrespectful to every black person everywhere. To bring in somebody that acted like an overseer, like a plantation owner. To retaliate against people that showed compassion for Shedeur, or that said he was ready and he was good, including Myles Garrett. How is it only Myles Garrett and Shedeur got robbed? Explain it. And there's not one public detail about Myles Garrett robbery, but they put Shedeur on blast from coast to coast. Why? Just like when Myles Garrett said, we're going to need you in the preseason. In that Panthers game, they start retaliating against him right away. You think Myles Garrett couldn't get sacks on Brock Purdy? You saw that damn playoff game. It was rigged against Shedeur, the 49ers game. And that's when Dylan's little girlfriend want to start running and yapping. Them breadcrumbs point to Oregon University, and Oregon football. Which one is she? Because she told us everybody in the building wants Shedeur to play. How the hell you know what everybody in the building want to do? So does everybody in the building know where Shedeur live to? I know HR does. Your employer has your address. And that house is not in Shedeur's name. So if they wanted some Louis bags and some sunglasses, I promise you, they could have hit up the Titans or the Kansas City Chiefs or the Chicago Bears before they went to Ohio. Hell, the Packers too. Detroit over there too. Why Shedeur when he's playing in his first NFL game? And they restricted him to the second half, but they put Dorian Thompson-Robinson in there and let him play the whole game. And he was a true fifth rounder because he came out of school injured. They didn't develop him. They sabotaged that kid. Draft to destroy. And they devalued him. Then they get Winston and they devalued him and sent him to New York as a 3 or 4. He get out there and play due to injuries and everybody like, oh my God, he's a QB1. They did the same thing Jacoby Brissett, the 15th black starting quarterback. Shedeur was the 17th. 17. What is 32 divided by 2? 16. So Shedeur put them one over with black quarterbacks being the starters, and look at what they did to him. And now they want to take the person that did it to him and overpay him so he can do it to Michael Penix Jr. Don't y'all show up over there. Pretend they don't exist. It's too much going on in this city. It said if the podcast that you follow isn't becoming to you, then you need to be coming to What She Said Sports. I know that's right. Thank you so much. It said Kevin thought the noise was quiet down at ATL. Right. And they thought they thought that this was Cleveland. Because they trying the same thing with these podcasters and these people like in the media. When I saw AJC, I said that's the damn newspaper. And they always catering to black people in their ads and all of that. Talking about the culture and the soul of the city. And that person probably was black. It wouldn't surprise me if he was, because this is Atlanta. And you see how they got the black people to hop on board like they got Jerry Jeudy? Like they got that receiver up there in Chicago who gave up on his route and cost them the game. That's why they can't find him. You got to be a special kind of fool. You got to be a special kind of fool to set up your own damn team and a black quarterback that look like you because there's an agenda against 17 or 32. Shedeur being 17. Chickens coming home to roost. Who talking next? Because folks is talking. I said today somebody getting arrested. Here we go. That was before this. And this ain't going to be the last thing. When I tell you people disapprove of an abusive person being handsomely rewarded and put in charge of a majority black team in a predominantly black city, where the halftime show is like Jeezy and Young Jock and Jagged Edge. That was total disrespect to black people everywhere. That was a racist affront, and it was done on MLK weekend to tell us as black people, y'all don't run shit. You don't run shit either. Like I said, this ain't Burger King. You can use those people you are paying money to, but you can't tell the fans what to do. Y'all don't pay us to show up to the games because that's what you're going to start doing. And that ain't going to work either because they're going to come in, get the money, and walk right out the door. That's what you're going to have to do. Start paying folks. I know you saw what happened in AFCON in the soccer when the players found out people was cheating. They stopped playing the game. They like, oh, that's it. We done. They're like, wait a minute. How you just going to leave? They're like, because y'all cheating. Yeah, I said I'm going to do a little something on that so y'all can see what really happens in other countries that they trying to expand to. Don't forget they have NFL Africa. I don't understand why there's no black African kickers. There's only one black kicker in the NFL. There should be many Africans if you have NFL Africa and you bringing over players from Africa through London, the UK. Why you don't bring the kickers? Racism. The league is already 80% black. If we bring the kickers and tight ends and the linemen, well, damn. That's why they want to act like it's a whites only space. They regulating black people in the numbers that they have. Then they want to advertise to us like we stupid. And we talked about that. I said, oh, y'all want to come for black women, huh? You want to advertise black women hair care products like we don't know that company was sold to Procter & Gamble. It's no longer black owned. Miel products. And you think we going to support you and you out here abusing Shedeur. I told you that wasn't going to work. And I told you before, Atlanta is not Cleveland and it ain't Nashville. And look now. It said, we already talking about not showing up. It said, we'll watch, but just on TV, and you don't watch it live. You only have to watch the highlights. It said, they coming for Kevin. Yeah, they coming for Kevin. It said, they show all these fans said they going to run him out of Atlanta. They not playing. He got to go. It said, he going to learn today. Sure will. Sure will. Grady baby here. Oh, we definitely making noise. Yeah, Atlanta fans are not happy at all. I would play what DC Young Fly said, but I'd have to edit it up like real good. Real good. He was like, we don't want you here. After what you did to Shedeur. See, he didn't pull no punches. But notice the media can't talk about it. That's where the fans coming at. So then they think they're going to dispatch all of these black podcasters. And the white one that was on with the black one said, oh, I don't care about what happened to Shedeur. He's not my quarterback. I said, notice they let the white one say that. They ain't stupid. But the black one, shame on them. Trying to convince us. Stefanski got a 2-time Coach of the Year award. Yep, just like Josh Allen got an MVP, and it ain't his. It's Lamar's. How many Coach of the Year awards did Mike Tomlin get before he got pushed out? 0. That man never had a losing season in 19 years, and they did him dirty too. They cheat on their wives and having babies on their wives, if that's what it is. I don't want to hear shit about that. They're only talking about it because what they did is wrong, and people are calling out the racism. So now they trying to clean it up. Oh, it's his fault. Just like they trying to say it was Baker's fault. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Over 12.8 million people. So this is what people going to be talking about tonight, tomorrow, and the day after that till something else happens. Because the truth is being exposed in Cleveland. Who next? Who next? I know somebody knows somebody at Robbery. And they had the audacity to send him to Atlanta. I said, that's risky. Y'all remember me saying, who heard me say, that's some risky shit right there. I'm like, and then they can't find a 4th one? Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's different. Because you wouldn't send me. Hell no. You sending me to my grave. I asked, I'm like, who they playing? I'm like, because, I don't know. But somebody going to get arrested. Watch what I tell you. But I want to know who next. Not that everybody telling the truth. Just come on with it. Come on with it. Come on with it with them damn raggedy Wildcats. You know, people across the country was watching that. And Atlanta fans, and I told y'all they was going to try to separate the Atlanta fans and say, don't worry about what happened in Cleveland. So again, they don't want black people to worry about black people. I was afraid for Michael Penix Jr. And still I am. And I think they set Michael Penix Jr. up. They want us to go to hell with Michael Penix Jr. We Shedeur fans. No. We black too. Get the hell on. They tried to suppress Colin Kaepernick because he cared about black people. You see how they always trying to divide and scapegoat? They used Deshaun to block Shedeur. Talking about we took a big swing and miss. You a damn lie. You just won't let him play. But it's all right. It's all right because he could go somewhere else and play. And then what you gonna say? That's what they do. Just lie. Just lie. Lied on Shedeur in the draft. Lied on him all season. And the media tried the same crap these fools down here in Atlanta think they're gonna pull the wool, except for in Cleveland, they was white. Over here, they got 3 black ones. You can go to hell with that. You ain't gonna tell us what we see. And that's the problem. And I told y'all Stefanski was trying to let people know what he was doing in his disdain for Shedeur because he had an audience watching. And now they want him to do it in Atlanta. Now y'all know Matt Ryan ain't shit, don't you? It said Kevin thought it was a bad. If he thought it was bad in Cleveland, Atlanta will definitely. Oh yeah, they'll probably come from the Carolinas and everywhere else. Greenville, South Carolina, they don't have no team. Atlanta is an hour from everywhere. The state line is an hour from everywhere. An hour from Alabama, an hour from Tennessee, an hour from South Carolina. Quit playing. Yeah, you're gonna have to move on. It's already fired, Kevin Stefanski. It sure is. It says stand up always. Swats in the building. Yep. It said out of all places, he thought it was Gucci in the A. We worse than Cleveland fans. Yeah. And they really was thumbing their nose up at the fans. That's what got me. They was thumbing their nose up at the fans. Like, what y'all gonna do? You gonna see. And this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. I've been on all platforms reading. I could do a whole show just based on comments. These people not playing, bro. They letting it be known that this is disrespectful. They letting it be known we don't want this man here. We saw what you did to Shedeur. You're not doing this to Michael Penix Jr. Wasn't no coincidence they let that white man say that and the other black people say we didn't care about what happened to Shedeur. He ain't my quarterback. You kiss my ass. That's what you could do. And you see he was careful not to call Shedeur a bum. Call PJ Walker a bum. Call Case Keenum a bum. As knowledgeable as Case Keenum is, I don't really think he was a bum. Trying to justify why Kevin Stefanski had about 11, 12, or 13 quarterbacks in 5 years. Suddenly his career went from 5 to 6 years. I don't even know how that happened. Andrew Berry let it be known. Nobody else wanted to hire him. And Atlanta rushing it like somebody else gonna get him. No, they wasn't. Nobody wants that dysfunction. Nobody trying to piss off their black players, their black fans, but the Falcons. Just pure ignorance. And what's in it for them? A new stadium out somewhere north? Good. Bye. Get the hell on. Just get the hell on. That's what they need to do. Straight talker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate the super chat. But yeah, y'all, they out here tripping. They just out here tripping. I'm still going through the comments because it's a lot of comments to go through. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because I just said today, we're going to see what God going to do and enter Baker Mayfield. Somebody else next. I know it got something to do with that robbery too. I bet they're going to be talking. They're going to be like, you know what, man? You ought to tell. Mm-hmm. You think they ain't tell nobody they was driving 22 hours? You don't think they were scared they was being set up so they told people what was going on just in case something happened? That's what I think. That's what I think. You ain't finna make no 22-hour run with 4 people in the car for 12 minutes in some strange person's house and some stranger hired you and ain't no telling who they use as the point person. Probably somebody that got arrested in college and still got a relationship with somebody and they probably from Atlanta and you know they in the NFL now because you know they want to stay. That's how that go. You see somebody with connections to Atlanta. And you see what Atlanta did. So that says a lot, right? That's a lot of people. That could be a former Falcon. It could be a former University of Georgia Bulldog player. Ooh, did y'all know? Did y'all know that Dan Lanning was the defensive coordinator for University of Georgia? So did, and he had players arrested. Mm-hmm. They had players. He didn't have them arrested, but while on his watch, while he was there, they had some players arrested, and they from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, somebody gonna tell it. Somebody gonna tell it. Somebody going to jail. Or at least they're gonna get arrested. I'm sure they're gonna get them out. But they're gonna have to live in a city like this with that. Did you hear so-and-so got arrested for doing XYZ? I can't imagine. Can't even go to the Publix or the Target. Tell me I'm wrong. Atlanta was so eager to let us know. Baby, Baker a real one. Facts. Hell, I'm probably going to be watching him play. I can watch his games. I can watch his games. I can watch his games. Actually, they split that money too from the TV, so I'm going to have to watch Baker's highlights. Good job, Baker. Yep. It said he can't come in Prime's house and act like it's sweet. Right. And that's the part. That's the part everybody is talking about. That's what people started talking about first. They already didn't like the hire. They didn't like what he did to Shedeur. And then as it spread to more and more people, it was like, this Coach Prime house. Why would you do something like that? Why this is the city that Coach Prime built as far as the NFL. And I was shocked to know that they didn't retire his jersey. That's just total insanity. They're gonna need Coach Prime to speak out on their behalf, but it ain't gonna work. He gonna have to take him up there to Denver with him. He can't be here. He can't be here. He got to get the hell on. Him and whatever minion he brought with him, and Obridge might need to go too. Yep, good job, Baker. Yep, bye, Stefanski. Hey, Mama Tia, how you doing? It said Decatur wears greater. Definitely gonna find out because people petty. Yeah, people love to talk. People say he gonna find out. Welcome to Wakanda. They do call Atlanta Wakanda. They actually do. I've heard it multiple times, and I was thinking about showing y'all pictures of places that I go, and I don't even know if it might be one white person there behind the bar. Facts. And two places that I think of now behind the bar. Facts. Because that's Atlanta. That's why people come here. That's why they love it. Right? And they thought they was gonna disrespect the city like that. And DC Young Fly said it. He said the Falcons don't mess with the city like that. He said that's why I be over there with the Hawks. And he said it. He said they don't do stupid shit. He said, well, they do some questionable things, but the stupid he's talking about, that's racism. He even said it. He said Stefanski gonna come down here and be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna come down here and not do nothing else either for you black people because I don't like none of y'all. Facts. And they act like we can't see it. And because they don't talk about it, we don't know about it. You think we're mindless? You get the hell on with that. You're gonna learn today. You're gonna learn today. Shout out to Baker Mayfield. Let me see how many views is that now. Somebody put Baker Mayfield stats up here. It said Baker Mayfield without Stefanski plus the Browns. Oh, let me show this. This is good. I'm gonna share this with y'all. This is real good. I'm gonna make myself smaller so y'all can see. It said Baker Mayfield without Stefanski plus the Browns because Stefanski, let's see, 63 games, 14,400 passing yards, 113 touchdowns, 47 interceptions, 69.1% completion rate, 2 other playoff appearances. So see, Stefanski was skating on Baker's talent. Yeah. It said Kevin Stefanski without Baker. 1 playoff appearance and lost 45-14. Why? Because he didn't want to go back to the black quarterbacks. So he put in a quarterback that didn't play all season. Yep. And took Flacco off the practice squad after 7 black quarterbacks were rotated to build a winning record. Played Flacco. He lost the first one, won the other 3. He got injured on the last one. Stefanski could have went back to one of those 3 black quarterbacks. Deshaun, PJ Walker, or Dorian Thompson-Robinson. And went to somebody that hadn't played all season. Rotated 6 quarterbacks in total, 7 if you count the preseason. And that's when he want to bring that dysfunction to Atlanta. And they paid him $15 million a year to do it. Also, Michael Penix Jr. is not named the starter. That's why Shedeur was started late. Because if he would have played the majority of the games, he would have been the starter for the season. Shedeur played in 7 games. They didn't mind winning towards the end because they didn't want a high draft pick because they're waiting on a Manning kid next year, which is why they treated Shedeur like he was garbage in the draft because they thought the Manning kid was coming out in 26. But Diego Pavia decided, since the runway was clear with Dante going back to school, he gonna come out. They can play with Shedeur if they want to, but they know they better go find something else to do. And we got Michael Penix Jr. too. Understand that. We ain't playing about Michael Penix Jr. That's why I stopped being a Falcons fan. I saw what they were doing. I was like, the hell with this. So, 10 different starting quarterbacks, a 26-43 record, 0.376. That's way under 500. That's disgusting and hasn't need to be forced to sell for setting up shop with this kind of foolishness. Just racism. They didn't want Shedeur because they never had a black quarterback drafted in the first round. Yeah, people finna tell it now. They finna tell it. Keep telling it. We listening. It's they're definitely gonna find out because we petty. By Stefanski is that he can't come in Prime's house and act like that. Show can't. And this is the city Prime built as far as the NFL is concerned. Wakanda is right. The Falcons is about to FAFO. Facts. It said all this drama before the intro to the press conference. Right. He's supposed to have a press conference coming up. Yep. Him and Matt Ryan, or him and then Matt Ryan. He an ignorant something, because he probably like, what y'all gonna do about it? Mm-hmm. If you watch any of his press conferences, Atlanta, get ready. Y'all gonna be so disgusted. They better get rid of him. It said Baker Bros and Shedeur is united. I know that's right. I know that's right. Baker Bros and Shedeur is united. We need a name for Michael Penix Jr. because I'm riding with Michael Penix Jr. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Baker Bros. I'm rolling with them. Yes, I'm a Shedeurian of the South Division, the leader of the South, and then Michael Penix Jr. Absolutely, because the people that ride with Coach Prime ride with Shedeur that are Falcons fans, and they act like they didn't think about that, or they knew and they thought they were gonna humiliate Shedeur, and humiliate Coach Prime and run back the draft where they scapegoated both of them. Mel Kiper Jr. said it before the combine, which is why nobody talks about it. NFL Insider said before the combine, they didn't want quarterbacks like Shedeur. So all of that fugazi they made up, that defamation in the draft, that was premeditated. All of it. Because they knew they didn't want him before the combine. But why did you invite him? Because they greedy and they wanted them views and them likes and them clicks. And they got it. Then they wanted it again for the draft. And they tried to humiliate it. And they lied and said it was Atlanta. But it was the NFL itself. Of all the teams to blame, why Atlanta? Because they want to make it seem personal. Like it got something to do with Coach Pride. And then into the robbery. Atlanta. I told y'all they found him too quick. It was too neatly packaged. They closed the case too early. And I said, maybe they closed the case to let people be off guard. That's what I think. That's got to be what it is. Because, the fourth person is still out there. But if the case is closed, some people will let their guard down. And maybe others will tell. So, it said head crack, facts. It said we are all Falcons fans. Said the same. What was the rush to get Kevin? It said they didn't even wait for another winning coach a chance to come here. Right. And it's like they blocked McDermott because McDermott came available. And they just like hurry up and got Stefanski so they don't have to get somebody else. Stefanski coming to Atlanta was premeditated. He was never going to New York. In fact, he was blocked from New York, so he could come to Atlanta. Yep. And that's why they hurry up and got him before somebody else get fired. Shout out to I don't know why. I don't think he's a head coach though. McDaniel, he signed on with the Chargers. I think he said he'd rather be an OC than a head coach. I don't know how they convinced him to do that, but that's what I heard. He actually had McDaniel in Miami had a winning record. When they used their losing and Tua's inability to win to fire the black GM. Only black GMs have been fired. Most of the coaches fired had black quarterbacks, QB1s, so they can get somebody like a Stefanski in and go, well, I think I want to go with a different quarterback. That's what Stefanski's supposed to do to Michael Penix Jr. Find a way to disrupt his career and make sure he's not available. Like he did Shedeur. It said, I went on Reddit everywhere to watch Baker's comment. It said, Baker said, look me in the eyes, Stefanski. I know that's right. So I didn't even think about Reddit. Oh, it's over there too? Okay. It said the noise is so loud in Atlanta, they're going to have to rescind his contract and try to get either Flores or Tomlin. They better get, I don't know why the hell they couldn't get Tomlin. I said it. So you trying to tell me you couldn't get Mike Tomlin? And then somebody put out the New York Giants, liars. We wanted to talk to Mike Tomlin for what? To just have a conversation because you didn't want Shedeur. Because you never had a black quarterback in the first round, and you didn't want one. And that's exactly what the hell is wrong with the Browns. See all these non-friendly, unfriendly black QB teams that are not friendly to black QBs, they all cursed. Every last one of them. The Saints, the Giants, the Browns, and the Titans. And because they racist. That's why. That's exactly why. And they're going to send Callahan, who didn't want Cam to be the quarterback. He wanted to go back to Will Levis that failed. And then he was saying all kind of reckless with his words. And a noose popped up over there. Stefanski actually had the audacity to say one time after Shedeur won that Panthers game, knowing he was looking like a pro, we're going to have to put him down. And he got sacked 5 times in that Rams game right after that. Premeditated. Sacks are used to weaponize, as are injuries, season-ending injuries. They know how to hit a quarterback, especially one that's vulnerable to back injury or ACL. Why do you think it happened to Pat Mahomes this year? Same reason. Why they send Eric Bieniemy over there? They don't know when to quit. I said it. They don't know when to quit. They don't know. It said, I don't even think Arthur Blank knew about Kevin. It said, I know that was all Matt Ryan. They have history. Yeah, I don't know. How old is Arthur Blank? I'm going to have to look and see. It said it has gone from slick stuff to slick. Yep, sure has. Arthur Blank is very old. He doesn't know. Oh, that's what you're saying, McMillan? I don't know if I'm ready to give him a pass just yet, because he was the one that said Michael Penix Jr. was the starter. So if you're trying to tell me that they doing all this behind his back, did he hire Matt Ryan? So he know what Matt Ryan is. Did Matt Ryan used to date his daughter? Then he know what Matt Ryan is. And to be honest with you, he the one that hired Kirk Cousins after they knew they was drafting Michael Penix Jr. And he the one that decided to fire the GM and the head coach who had a better record than Stefanski. And that GM, who was black, had put together the best draft class, the best class that they had, just like Andrew Berry. And I hope he knows he on the clock. They just didn't want to do it this year because people will be screaming them, but they screaming it anyway. They think they slick. They think they know how to move. They do not, because they don't know black people. You say Kevin out of touch. Absolutely. I totally agree. If that's a good way to say it. That's a good way to say he's some kind of wizard, because he out of touch. It's that Arthur Blank ain't that old, right, Ramon? I'm like, yeah, he hired Matt Ryan. He knew what he was doing when he hired Matt Ryan. He knew the city liked Matt Ryan. That's that greasing of the esophagus that I'll be talking about. It said Baker is Shedeur grown 12 Sanders. It said, I got you. It said, take a seat as you come off a vacation. I got something for you. Have a plate. Millions of views. Facts. Because it was at 12.8 million at one point. Let's see where it is now. Because, whoo. Readers have added context. It said under Stefanski, 2020 to 2025, the Browns had 13 starting QBs. Baker Mayfield, however, led them to an 11-5 record in 2020, their first playoff berth since 2002. Somebody said, and the win since 1994. It said he played through a significant shoulder injury in 2021. Okay. People adding context so y'all can know they schooled Baker Mayfield over. So it shows you that the Browns don't try to win. They had Baker Mayfield and pushed him out to get Deshaun so they could punish him. For what exactly? Because are they punishing Justin Tucker? To punish him because when they said they wanted to retaliate against him, he was like, so I got some people you're going to need to want to talk to. And he said, oh, okay. Because he got that money for a reason. And it's documented. Can't nobody else get that. They said that's the one-time deal. Why would they give him a one-time deal like that? Something happened. He just asked for a trade. And it seems like they retaliated. And it fits. If it walked like a duck and it quacked like a duck, it's a duck. Let's see if they're going to go run into Coach Prime to save Atlanta. Because it's definitely going with the win around here. It's on fire. 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 I'm like, and we was talking about the tables gonna turn. We know them tables gonna turn, and we just wait. And it was fast. It was fast. I'm like, geez. When I saw that, I was like, my goodness. And when I saw it, I knew it was at 11 million. I'm like, man. Yep. One thing about them tables, they gonna turn, and we expect it. We expect them tables to turn, and they turn it. They turn it. They turn it with the quickness too, and it ain't gonna be the last table to turn either. It ain't gonna be the last table to turn. They gonna need. Watch it gonna need. Watch it gonna run the coach prime. Prime. They ain't gonna want to do it, but it's gonna get so bad. They gonna run the coach prime, and they gonna be out here paying people to come in here. I don't think they're gonna do that because they want the TV revenue anyway. And the Falcons don't own that stadium. So I think it's something in it for them to do it. And y'all excusing blank. He hired Kirk Cousins and told Raheem Morris after they drafted Michael Penix Jr., I'm gonna let you decide who to start. Why the hell he got to decide? Did you draft a first round draft pick? And he paid Kirk Cousins that ungodly amount of money to park him there. The same way Trevor Lawrence is parked in Jacksonville, blocking people. They're going to send somebody over there and try to draft to destroy them too. That's why them quarterbacks went back to school. So, yeah, I think he's out of touch. I totally agree. He's 88 years old. I mean, he might still have his wits. I don't know. I don't know. I see you got a soft spot for him, McMillan, but I'm telling you, unless you saying they leave him in the room sleep all day and they making all these decisions, somebody hired Matt Ryan. And that person came right on out and said, right after that, Michael Penix Jr. is the starter. He didn't have to say that. I don't even know why you had to say it. I thought we already knew it. And see, they did the same thing last year after year one. And Michael Penix Jr. played in that game, but they lost. I'm like, y'all gonna let him play all late? They didn't want him to be the starter. Who played the most games in Atlanta this year? Was it Kirk Cousins or somebody else? It's like it irritates the hell out of them if a black quarterback is named the starter. So they reduce the number of games they play. Spencer Rattler, New Orleans. New Orleans, y'all gonna catch this heat. Because I saw what y'all did to Spencer Rattler. You made him play the tough part of the schedule, and you propped up Shaw and gave him the easy parts. And he actually struggled against Baker Mayfield. So next year, he got to play all the games. He better be good. Oh, y'all next. Let's go, ATL. Stand up. I know that's right. It's that Baker Mayfield can ball, and he's a serious competitor. Always like Baker, and now I like him more. I totally agree, Donald. Totally agree. Welcome back. Welcome back. It said whoop-de-whoop, y'all. I know that's right. I go to home games. Arthur looks lost and out of it. Yeah, but that don't mean his sentiment isn't the same. Here's the thing. If he ain't making the decisions, it's going to come out. But he did not have to sit up there right after hiring. What did he say first? We have to yield to the fans, something like that. And I noticed he said exactly what the Browns owner said, something about the fans. And he know the fans like Michael Penix Jr., and he know the fans like Matt Ryan. And he knew they was going to hire Stefanski. When they hired Stefanski and somebody was out there in the bushes filming it, they knew Stefanski was being hired. They fired Raheem Morris and the GM the day before. This is why they hired Stefanski before they hired a GM, because the deal was he would pick. What he had to agree to was to keep Ulbrich, whose son supposedly took Shedeur's phone number, but it was the NFL that gave out Shedeur's number. But that family took the heat for that, so they're going to get rewarded for that. Just like Stefanski did. That's why Stefanski had to keep him. Because he probably could have brought in Schwartz, which I probably wouldn't mind. It said Baker left some crumbs. Comments like this means I'm coming back for more. It said all on me, Stefanski. Yup, this is Baker. Yup. Thank you, Remind. It said, let's go, Atlanta. Stand up. Facts. It said, ain't going to happen here. It said, someone will spill Stefanski's beans. Right. And this is just the beginning right here. This is just the beginning. Said Baker made sacrifices and wasn't 100%. And then they're going to cast him off as a fourth rounder? A fourth rounder? Somebody says he was a fifth round pick 2 years after they traded him. Ooh, that's dirty. Oh, they was trying to push him out. It would have been a fourth if he played a certain number of games for the Panthers, which he did not. Wow. So he had to climb his way back. See, they was doing him dirty too. Ooh, that's good to know. That's good to know. That's good info. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. They would devalue him. That's how they devalue people. It said, when you living in a glass house, don't throw no stones. I know that's right. I know that's right. It said they paid for Deshaun silence. They paid for something. They paid for something. I think it's retaliation. And he can't talk about it right now, but he got but 1 year left. And let's see, they was already trying, the Cleveland media. That's why I tuned them out for the season. They were already trying to say, well, Deshaun is coming back. Oh, I'm like, oh, so you're going to use Deshaun to scapegoat Shedeur and rob him of $40 million. And now you want to bring Deshaun back to pit a black quarterbacks against another black quarterback. That's why they targeted Shedeur in the first place in October 2024 when he hit number 1 overall coming out of college. Because they was going to always pit him against Deshaun. That's why when Deshaun said he was taking Shedeur under his wing, they told Deshaun to stay inside. What the hell is Charles Woodson at? Told y'all that's why they went and got him too, to say we're not racist. Yeah, all the dirt coming out now. You said, didn't I say that Stefanski is standing on shaky ground? You did, and I said it was risky coming here. I said it was risky. It's that all of this is crazy. Remember, Micah Zabson said, who? Parson? Oh, Michael Parsons said something crazy about Shedeur. He went to Penn State. Michael Parsons? Oh, you talking about Abdul Carter or Michael Parsons? Let me know, Lucky. It said, why are the Atlanta Falcons doing all they can to destroy Shedeur Sanders and Deion Sanders? Let me let you know something. They're trying to destroy Deion Sanders and Shedeur Sanders. I think they're trying to push away their black fans so they can run up north and get 500 acres and get a star, which is exactly what just happened where Kevin Stefanski came from. And it was not a coincidence that Arthur Blank used the same language that the owner, Haslam, did. It's not a coincidence that DC Young Fly said the Falcons don't mess with the city like that. Because they don't. But that's who their fans are. And just like the WNBA, a lot of people didn't know when Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark came into the league that the WNBA's fan base was largely black men. They didn't want that. So they shunned Angel Reese the way the NFL and the Browns shunned Shedeur, because they knew he was coming with fans, like they knew Angel Reese was coming with fans. And they propped up Caitlin Clark because they didn't want the black male fan base no more. They didn't want the black fan base no more. That's why they had her wearing Prada and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, the moment you step on one person to elevate, you ain't gonna make it, boo. You're not gonna make it. You can't step on people to be successful. You're gonna fall. God just gonna let you go up really high, because the higher you go, the harder you fall, Stefanski. He didn't do anything to deserve being rewarded, because you don't reward people for harming others because they're black. It said it won't work here. Too much money here. It said this ain't Cleveland. I keep saying that. I'm like, I don't know why they keep trying it. It said wait till they start hitting these pockets. Yep. They ain't feeling it now because it's the off season. But you know what? They gonna hear about it. And it's gonna get louder and louder until we even get back to the regular season. So they probably thinking, thank God it's the off season. Because anybody in PR will tell you this is not gonna die down. So they gonna have to probably run over there to Coach Prime. And let's see what he gonna get for that. They don't want to do it. Believe me, but they gonna use somebody to try to put this down, but not at the Baker Bros are in it. Because you see who putting out these stats. Yeah. People that rock with Baker. The Baker Bros. I like that. I'm gonna give me a shirt and put Baker Bros, Shedeur, and Penix. I don't know. Something with Penix, because hey, I don't even play about Caleb. Caleb is a dog. And they did him dirt. So yeah, this gonna get real interesting, y'all. This gonna get real interesting. Somebody else gonna keep talking. Just we listening. Keep talking. It's about black QBs. They've been doing this for years. I totally agree. It said my guy moves. Absolutely. It said we are woke over here all day. Cause being woke is better than being asleep, right? Like, get the hell on. You can't take something from a culture that they invented and try to weaponize it against them because you don't even know what it means. You just trying to take something from the culture. That's like me trying to take something from Japanese culture that I don't understand and using it against him. I got to understand it first. And they don't even know black people. That's why they got those 3 of the 4 that we talked about earlier today that are black. That's why this Atlanta Journal-Constitution person, I think he might be black too. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It said every home I go to, it's us making things move. Yeah, I have no problem with race of fans. Yeah, majority down here. It said nuts, majority of us down here. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. That's facts. Fernando Mendoza is a joke. Yeah, he's and they talking about he's supposed to be the number 1 pick. I'm like, so let's talk about the other Big Ten champs. JJ McCarthy. Enough said. All right. And what's the one from last year? I actually like him though. Was it Lincoln Riley or was it the other guy? Who was the guy from Ohio State last year? Where he at? Why they didn't go number 1? And JJ McCarthy need to be replaced. You see how they keep saving his spot too, like they saving the Manny Kid spot? They trying to act like it's a whites only space, and they want to disrespect us for they somehow must be for their benefit. But then they try to play the Falcons fans first with Matt Ryan and talking about the commitment to Michael Penix Jr. because he hurt. They didn't get the hell on with that. I said it before, just because you think people dumb don't mean they are dumb. And in fact, it proves that you are short-sighted. That's you exposing yourself. You're exposing yourself. It said, what don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. I know that's right. I know that's right. You've been saying that, and it's really true. It's really true. 310 of us hit the like button. So, y'all, they out here killing it on these comments. If y'all not on X, go on. I'm sure it's going to pop up on IG soon enough. It's going to pop up on TikTok. Everybody tomorrow going to be talking about it. Whether they understand it or not, they're going to be talking about it. Everybody knows that this is bad. That this is just really, really bad. And look at this is the one I like right here. Robert Griffin III. This one is funny right here. This one is funny. Now, remember, he had to be told off. This one right here. He put that chair up. He finna have a seat. Listen, Robert Griffin III was done dirty by Washington. The owner of that team had to sell that team. That I say gonna happen to Haslam. Guess where they sent RG3? To the Browns. So the Browns are some kind of receptacle. That's why when Baker Mayfield said they pushed him out like garbage, they some kind of receptacle. That's what Odell Beckham Jr. said. That's why Shedeur's there. That's why they targeted Shedeur. They was gonna trash him, and they refused to pay him first round money, but they already knew they were going to devalue him and suppress him. I think it's premeditated. I think if you think common sense wise, how is it that you sent Dorian Thompson-Robinson, who Stefanski devalued, over to Philly where Andrew Berry brother worked, right? And then you get Kenny Pickett, who's injury prone. You get him, and all he did was suck up the reps. Then you got, after you went to CU's pro day, pretending to get Shedeur and or Travis, and you didn't want neither one of them because you didn't want to win. And Stefanski seemingly made sure they lost by fixing and rigging games. And another quarterback, another coach for the Browns said he was incentivized to lose, like Brian Flores. So was Stefanski incentivized to lose? Everybody saw how relieved he was when they lost. And then he hates Shedeur so much because Shedeur's a winner and the goal was to lose, which is why we got Dylan. Now wait till Dylan find out, unless they told Dylan, okay, you really are undrafted free agent, but we need you to lose. So just come on in here and get this $9 million or however much, $6 million. And if not, when he find out, them breadcrumbs that point back to Oregon football point directly at Dylan. Absolutely. Somebody going to be talking. Somebody going to be talking and people will be listening. I love RG3's meme that he used. And this is the perfect example or analogy for what's taking place. Just pull on up a chair. Just pull up a chair. And this is going to be our season. How long before somebody else speak out? Let me know your thoughts. So, yep, you're right, Ramon. What don't come out in the wash will come out in the rinse. It said now they talking about sending over the backup from the Packers to Cleveland. You talking about Malik Willis? Yeah, absolutely. First, they was going to send him to Pittsburgh. I was like, y'all ain't sending him over there. It said only thing in Atlanta that is acceptable is for fans to boycott and force $4 tickets and force them to fire Stefanski. Nothing else will be acceptable. I totally agree. I totally agree. And I don't think people I think after this is fuel. And this is fuel because it's another quarterback from Cleveland that points that Stefanski is a fraud. Baker's talent is what got them to the playoffs. And somebody else actually coached that playoff. And the way they got to the playoff, they could have gotten to the playoffs. I think it was a wild card game. They clearly didn't want to win with a black quarterback, so they put in somebody who did not play all season. After 3 black quarterbacks put together a winning record, then they snatched it from him and gave him to a white quarterback, Ed Flacco. And then he got injured, and they went to a stranger, essentially. So the black quarterbacks don't get the glory. The same reason, like when Shedeur got them in the playoff hunt, Stefanski made sure to eliminate them, and the media was in on it. What did I say about the media? When it was, you think the Browns fans would have been ecstatic for the media to be talking incessantly about Shedeur Sanders got them to the playoff hunt. We're going to play the Titans. And if we win, we're going to play this one. We're going to play that one. That was an elimination game. Them raggedy Wildcats. He shouldn't even have a job for that. He should be banned. He shouldn't even be no damn PE teacher for them raggedy Wildcats. Then they took his play sheet. Then they sent somebody to crush his finger so he can't throw. And they put in Dylan, and them fans booed the hell out of Dylan. Wait till they get to Atlanta. Because Cleveland is not Atlanta. It said the Raiders can have Mendoza. Facts. Nobody want no check down key. We don't want to see that. Couldn't even score with his arm. Doing the running back's job. But if Shedeur did that, if Cam Ward did that, if a black quarterback was in the natty and he couldn't score with his arm and had negative rushing yards and he get a rushing touchdown, when you go back and look at the film and see they weren't blocking him, the Miami people was not blocking him. Yeah, they would rip him to shreds. And he would definitely not be no first round pick. That was not no first round pick game. And then he only had 177 yards the game before that and 180 yards. Don't nobody want to pay $600 or $300 for no dumbed down game manager football, but that is their agenda. That's how they could come out and say before the combine, according to Mel Kiper Jr. I still have the recording. The NFL don't want quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders now. What caught my attention was quarterbacks like Shedeur Sanders and the time frame now, because Shedeur in the draft, number 2 to Cleveland or first round period, inherit QB1, 17 to 32, making a historic moment for black quarterbacks to become the majority for the first time ever, despite all the disgusting things that have been done to them, including being banned from the NFL. They still made it. And now they're making sure they pump the brakes. And the agenda is the check down key. Now they're going to have to go find a black check down key. But the goal was to eliminate the black quarterback because of the sheer numbers at the QB1 position. It said him and Shady Brady can't go somewhere. Right. And then we're talking about sending Lamar to Vegas. I'm like, with Tom Brady, I don't see that happening. What, y'all going to suppress him up there? That ain't going to work. We already saw what happened in Baltimore. And Baltimore said Stefanski better not come there. Yep. Well, he better get the hell out of here. I know that. You get the hell out of Atlanta. Already tainting the name of the city when you say it out loud and something ain't right. We don't want that. This city is people like being here. People come here every weekend or every week from somewhere else just to be here. And we won't even have Mardi Gras here. They tried it though, but it didn't work. All right, so I'm getting ready to wrap up. I'm going to keep going through the comments. And I heard that man that coached the Michigan team, Moore, he was a setup because they said allegedly that Harbaugh knew what Moore was doing. They all knew. The woman he was fooling with, The white chick he was fooling with was the daughter of an NFL scout to the Chicago Bears. They all knew. Wouldn't be surprised if they introduced it. And Harbaugh, the reason Harbaugh put Sharon Moore in his contract after he left was because they were trying to reel in Bryce Underwood, the number one quarterback coming out at the time. And they got it for $10 million. And they disrupted him. They know what they're doing, and they waited till the recruiting cycle with the high school kids was over before they fired him, and they made sure to fire him before Michigan played Texas. Because who go to Texas? All you got to do is look at the score to see what the outcome was, to understand what the agenda was. Don't be surprised if he pop out. Like Diego Pavia suddenly changed his mind after being granted a 7th year to play football. But they denied Trinidad Shambliss because that's all people going to talk about next year. And they don't want nobody talking about anybody else that's a quarterback other than the Manning kid if he stay in school. Yeah. There's a lot happening here. And it's all corrupt. And it's all designed to suppress the black quarterback. Surviving the Browns, this is a Lifetime movie. Oh, it sure is. It sure is. Somehow we don't even like Matt Ryan like that in Atlanta. When we think of the Falcons, we think of Michael Vick. I don't know where they got that from. Spiritual War is exposing it. He's saying we don't even like him like that. Matt think we forgot too. He must think that y'all just don't believe whatever he say. I love your depth, vision, discernment, and ability to overall see through the BS. Thank you so much. And I think it's a gift. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. All right, y'all. I got to get out of here because it's late and I haven't eaten. And I'll be back tomorrow. We can continue the conversation in the comments when the video of the live stream uploads. Don't forget, I dropped a video separate from this because everybody can't make the live. I'll be in both comment sections. All right, I'll see y'all later. We'll be back tomorrow. Oh, we're going to be back tomorrow. We're going to pick this up. I'm going on Reddit to see what they say. Since we know 12 point, how many views? 12.8 million views later. It's a lot of comments to talk about. 14.2 million, y'all. 14.2 million views. 3.9 thousand saves. 110,000 likes. 13,000 retweets. And 4.3 thousand comments. So I'm going to be hopping on different platforms to see what people saying. Because, man. Baby. Go play in somebody else's face, bro. Go play in somebody else's face. It just got real hot in Atlanta. It just got real hot in Atlanta. All right. Thank y'all. I'm going to get out of here. Thank you for watching What She Said Sports. I appreciate the engagement. We can continue the conversation in the chat. I'm going to post this everywhere. Have a good one. Thank y'all for the super chats. I appreciate it. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks for watching What She Said Sports. Thank you.